Major health systems in Missouri are not going to be divided by I-70 anymore after they reached a definitive agreement to combine BJC in St. Louis and St. Luke's health systems in Kansas City. The agreement follows a letter of intent that was signed back in May. The transition is expected to begin at the first of the year. Combined, the two have $10 billion in revenue, 28 hospitals, and hundreds of clinics and service centers. The president and CEO of BJC will continue on in that role as the CEO of this integrated health system. St. Luke's CEO announcing plans to retire at the end of this year.